Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video, I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. Also, once again, I'd like to thank all of the ones who have tried Smiley Face Coffee. And if you're curious about it and like to try it out, go ahead, the link is in the description. Now, let's get started with today's first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user CrazyTown605. My wife is going to have sex with other men. The title says it all. My wife, Beth, and I are 50. We have 3 kids, and the last one just graduated and started a new job in May. We've been married 27 years. 2 of our kids are married, and our daughter is 5 months pregnant and has a stepchild. This past Friday, the family celebrated Beth's 50th birthday. She was a stay-at-home mom until 13 years ago. She started a career and has done great. We are almost equal in pay. We are not rich and still have a mortgage, but life is comfortable. Then, on Saturday morning, I was finishing my breakfast. She sits down across from me and says, "I need to tell you something." She pauses and I'm like, okay, what is it? She takes a deep breath and says, "I'm going to start having sex with other men." I just stare at her, waiting for a smile to crack. None. I ask her to repeat it, and she does. She says the exact same thing and still does not smile. Now I am, what the F does that mean? She goes on to explain that for the last 10 years, she has had a pact with herself. Now that the kids are gone, the job is good, and our life is good, she wants to do this for herself. Again, what the F? We were married in our early 20s, the only partners we've ever had, and she feels she missed out. Now that she is 50, she wants this new life. She wants the marriage opened up. I asked if I had any say. Nope. She hoped I would look elsewhere also. She wants to stay married. Now I'm going ape crap. I am yelling, crying, sobbing, all the emotions of betrayal. I asked if I did anything to cause this. Nope, it's all her. I left the house to drive nowhere. I called her best friend from childhood, Claire. She confirmed that they had talked about this off and on over the years. They have a group of friends, and they do their girls' night out, etc. 2 of them are single, 4 are married, and the 2 singles delight the group with their lifestyle exploits. Claire says they all have a yearning, but Beth is the only one following through. I should point out I will be talking to Claire's husband. We are good friends. Anyway, I have no one to talk to about this. Parents on both of our sides are alive and in their late 70s. I called my brother 1,000 miles away and he was blown away. No advice. I did call a divorce lawyer on Monday and I have an appointment to meet next week. In the meantime, he advised me not to move out, change the locks, or change living arrangements as that could come back to bite me. He also said to take lots of notes and, above all, no physical confrontation. That would not be a problem. On Sunday, I went in for round 2. I asked if she was going to date these guys. Nope, just sex. Then I asked about how they were to meet, and she told me a girlfriend was going to set her up on dating sites. I was worried about her safety, and she told me her friends would be close by on the initial meetup. They would also know where and when the hookups would take place. I know there are some weird-ass posts on Reddit, and I need to Google half of the things people write with all the acronyms and initials and just plain different lifestyles. Has anyone got advice or heard of something like this? I took Monday off from work to collect my thoughts, but that didn't work. She is just going about her life unfazed by this. Wow, OP, unless your wife has had some sort of a mental breakdown and she's completely off her hinges into why she's doing this, then just she's a garbage person. She's a bag of crap minus the bag. Well, maybe that's too harsh on my part. I mean, let's face it, she did have a pact with herself that she would do this at 50. Go F yourself, you selfish piece of scum. OP, I am so sorry that you're having to go through this. Honestly, just divorce her and be rid of her. You don't deserve to be put through this kind of crap. And my advice on this would be follow the advice of your attorney. He seems to have a pretty good grasp on the situation. Because let's face it, OP, there's nothing to save here. Like I said before, she's been thinking about this for years, just waiting for the moment to open up your relationship without even asking you if you wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, just throw this whole thing out the window. It's worthless now. And this just may be my bitter prediction, but somewhere down the line, when she's gotten all the party out of her system, she's gonna realize she effed up and she might call you, but you'll be long gone by then. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you deal with this mess? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Fine Measurement says, quote, she wants to stay married, end quote. Well, too effing bad. Maybe if she wanted to stay married, she shouldn't have unilaterally made a decision, kept her betrayal quiet for 10 years, and then suddenly sprung it on you like your feelings don't matter. She's been secretly planning this for years and surrounds herself with the kind of people that would support it and not give you a heads up. It says a lot that those are her friends, the people she chooses to surround herself with. I'm quite happy to say that my friends would be like, what the F, dude? You don't get to make a call like that without your wife's say. And then told my wife, who you choose to surround yourself with and their influence matters. We see your wife has been a terrible person with a bad influence for years. I'm sorry you're going through this. Your wife is being a crappy selfish person, and she's going to keep being a crappy selfish person because she surrounded herself with other negative influences. Good luck with your lawyer. Do not waste time on your wife. Deleted says, she does not even want to discuss it with you. This would not be an open marriage, just open betrayal and cheating and open disrespect. The only thing I would suggest to her is you both try counseling together and or separately to give things one last go. If she refuses this, start taking that legal advice seriously, and if the counseling or therapy does not help and she is adamant in seeing other men, then it is time to make drastic changes. Sorry you are going through this. Slytherin 2019 says, it's very selfish of her to spring it on you and not give you a say in your marriage. I suggest telling her that you aren't comfortable with that your marriage vows actually mean something to you. Just because she missed out on sleeping around doesn't mean it's an excuse to cheat on you, which it would be since you didn't agree to open up the marriage. I also suggest keep doing what you're doing with the lawyer and prepare yourself for the possibility of divorce. I could never be with my husband again if he pulled this and went through with it without my consent. And another deleted account says, divorce her, listen to your lawyer, prepare for war. Anything less and both her and the children will lose any respect for you. As for your emotions, there's nothing that will help other than iron fortitude. Know that you did nothing wrong and that she deceived you for 10 years of your life. You owe her nothing. You owe no one anything. You are your own person. Also, play the field. I'm guessing that a 50-year-old mid-career man would have a much better shot than a 50-year-old grandmother to be. Additional information from OP's comments. Yes, she really does believe we will stay together after all of this. Now, I get why she wants to do this. I don't agree with it. I would never think or do something like this myself. It just seems cold. Still, I'm not wavering. I've stated in my post, I have a plan that involves a divorce lawyer and I will follow through. Alright, well, OP got comments in the same direction but from different angles, from, try to go to counseling, maybe give it one shot, to, get out there, play the field and divorce her. Honestly, the counseling part I think would be overkill because she's been thinking about this for 10 years. This isn't a spur of the moment thing or like an opportunity kind of thing. No. She's been fantasizing about this for 10 years. That says a lot in my opinion. In any case, OP apparently is really ready to pull the cord on this thing and just go through with divorce. So let's move on to the update to see what happened next and how the story ends. But before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and let me know by clicking that like button. Now let's move on with that update. So my wife and I calmed down on Sunday to discuss this mess. I had been avoiding her all week until I could get my head around it. We took a drive in the car, something we like to do for like 3 hours. My wife started out apologizing for how she presented this to me. She had been rehearsing on what to say. I guess she didn't rehearse enough. When it came time to inform me, it just spilled out of her mouth all wrong. She wanted to bring up that now that the kids are grown and on their own, she would like us to make changes in our lives. She went on about not having other sexual partners, etc. What she wanted to propose was that we have an open relationship where we both would seek out others. I told her that I would not and could not do this. I reminded her of the vows before God, family, and friends we took on fidelity. Yes, I am very conservative in my views about marriage. As I mentioned, we took vows of fidelity to each other. This is very much a part of my moral being. There are things that cannot be compromised. Anyway, I told her how she violated the trust that I had for her. Look, I understand what she is feeling. I know she wants new experiences. I told her our plan, as we had discussed many times in the past, that once the kids were out, we would travel a bit, maybe take up new hobbies, maybe some education classes, etc. We never had a discussion about sleeping with other people. I told her that because of the breach of trust and her steadfast statement that she was going to do this, I was seeing a lawyer on Tuesday to start divorce proceedings. At this point, if she said she would not go through with this, I do not think I could not think she could be cheating at some point. That is where the trust comes in. I think divorce is proper. She can do her thing and no guilt can be associated with it. I think equal division of assets is the best way to go. I expect to make no support payments after the papers have been signed. I did not know if this was a thing in our state, but it's not. We will have to sell the house and downsize each on our own. We actually had a good talk. Papers are being drawn up. We hope to get through this by the end of the fall. I get what she is saying and wish her the best in her life. We will always love each other and support each other, just not be married. The divorce is because she says she will break our vow of fidelity, so the marriage in my mind is over, and I will protect myself. We will come to an agreement before we go to court. We have pledged that to each other, and I believe she will stick to it. I also talked to each kid individually and explained we were going separate ways. I did not mention the lifestyle change. They can talk to their mom themselves. I will always love my wife, and I will take the high road. I know many of you wanted scorched earth, but I can't do that. It's not me. Although I have talked to her best friend's husband just in case she was having the same thoughts as my future ex. I think he should be in the know. And as a side note, this is the second time I've posted this update because I originally posted it on the wrong sub. I want to address a couple of comments I received there. Some people thought that I was trying to manipulate her into staying by using the marriage vows. And just to make it very clear, my religious upbringing has set the morals that I live by. This works for me. Some say it's the 21st century and no one lives that way anymore. There are many things I see others do and say that I do not agree with, but I do not try to impose my morals on them, and conversely, others should not denigrate what I believe. Remember, my wife and I believed the same for close to 30 years, and recently she has expressed this urge. I never held her down. She was always free to choose. I believe in God and believe in my vows before Him. Sorry, enough soapbox. Now, one thing I have been thinking about is, were there signs along the way? Was it really an overnight change? And all I can come up with is that she has had more girls' night out, but they have all been friends for years. No new members. Sometimes I have been invited along with other husbands. I think this is a bucket list kind of thing. As things settle down, I will explore this with her. She is not going to be cut out of my life. Last, I want to thank all of you for your kind replies. I was overwhelmed and I wish I could have replied to each and every one. Thank you for letting me talk this out. Alright, well, OP is following through with divorce and he's got things pretty clear and tied down. So, there's not much more to say, but here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. And now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said, it also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user PoolsHelpMe00. Just found out my husband, 33 male, hooked up with my new coworker, 33 female, years ago. I, 28 female, am struggling with jealousy. As the title says, I just found out my husband hooked up with a new coworker of mine. She started about 3-ish months ago, whom I have become friends with. I had met her a few times before she started at the company and liked her. I knew that she and my husband, Kurt, were in the same friend group in college. Basically, today when her name came up in conversation, he mentioned to me that he was glad they were able to move past an awkward situation that happened about a decade ago when they had hooked up once and then she wanted more, but he said he wasn't looking for a relationship at the time. I immediately said it was no big deal, but now I can't stop thinking about it. I guess I feel stupid not knowing, and I wonder now if she had mentioned it to anyone else at work. I wish she would have told me sooner about their past. I know it's ridiculous to be jealous of something that happened that long ago, and I definitely had other hookups too, but I feel foolish being out of the loop on this one. How do I get over these feelings of jealousy and feeling foolish? How do I push this aside so it doesn't become awkward with her at work? Thanks, Reddit. Well, Opie, I gotta say, I think this is all inside your head. I don't think she would be telling anybody at work because, honestly, what's the upside for her? Hey guys, guess what? I slept with Opie's husband a really long time ago. Okay, why would she want to share that information? She doesn't come out looking that good because the follow-up question is, and what happened? Well, he rejected me. So yeah, again, I don't think she'd voluntarily kind of want to share that. Also, your husband said so himself. There's nothing for you to worry about here, OP. The only thing that you do need to try to get over is this feeling foolish because you're not looking like a fool at all. And the jealousy is something that you need to work on through yourself. Your husband hasn't done anything wrong and neither has your coworker. And what kind of advice would you have for OP to get over her jealousy? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Diablo165 says, I don't know why you'd feel foolish. It's not like you're expected to know about it after all. And it happened 10 years ago between them. I don't even see why either of them would have brought it up to you. As far as getting past it, accept the knowledge, acknowledge how you feel, and then keep on living. Same as you would do with a nutritional info on Nutella, or when you find out your favorite musician is a flat earther. Lynx Logics says, you said he pretty much denied her after the hookup. She probably wasn't that good. Winky face. He married you, which means he wants to enjoy a lifetime of hookups with you. Hopefully, this thought process helps the jealousy. Ungrateful Daughter says, sounds like your husband handled it just right. Oh, that was an awkward situation far in the past. Hope we can all move past it. Is really the best way to handle this. Imagine how upsetting it would be to work with this woman for months or years and then find out. Quote, I wonder now if she had mentioned it to anyone else at work. End quote. Why on earth would she do that? Don't worry, nobody's plotting or talking about you behind your back or trying to make you look bad or foolish. This is 100% on you. And Opie responds, since she is in his group of friends from college, I had met her a few times prior to her working with me, so I guess I feel like it would have been nice to mention earlier that they had a past. Like the first time I met her a few years ago. But I guess that now he knows we are becoming friends, he felt that he should mention it. I don't think she would bring it up to people. I guess I was just thinking worst case scenario if she is out drinking with women from the office and it comes up or something. I know that's probably not very likely to happen. Alright, well, the community agrees. This is all in OP's heads and she just needs to try to work through her jealousy by herself. So let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. Wanted to provide a brief update. Basically, based on the helpful advice given to me by Redditors with my original post, I have been able to work past my feelings of jealousy and inadequacy with my husband hooking up with my coworker about 10 years ago. Every time I started to feel jealous or the thought popped into my head about them hooking up, I just concentrated on how my feelings were not justified because it happened a long time ago and I had no reason to think that my husband still wanted her or regrets not pursuing her. I have continued to work closely with my co-workers. The first couple of days after finding out were a bit weird, but honestly, now things are totally back to normal and I don't really think about it. She definitely hasn't picked up on anything and I have treated her the same as always. We are able to continue our friendship and she is coming to our dinner party in a few weekends. Thanks to everyone who responded. You guys are terrific and I feel so much better than when I first posted. I was quite upset about the situation. Well, it'll be good for you for not letting this become some weird mental stress for you and actually seeing that, well, it just wasn't very logical to be upset about this. So good for you for that and, well, here's wishing that you have a nice dinner party and become good friends with this person. Take care, Opie, and thank you for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.